From the high plains of the Midwest, I bid you good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever your time zone might be. My nod to the late and great Art Bell. I'm Keith Sharp.
And I'm G. Dressel.
And we welcome you to Life After Life, a paranormal webcast where we talk about the paranormal, UFOs, or the unexplained. And the biggest question of them all, what happens when we die? Stay tuned. Hey.
Hi.
Hey, that's the first time we've had a successful beginning in a long time. Hey, everybody. It's good to be back.
Crazy,
but we're going to be gone again. But we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in a minute.
All good things.
Yeah, it's going to be all good stuff.
Leveling up always.
Changing the structure of the show, expanding the show, and
adapting.
Right. And so unfortunately, Matt had to go into work today. So he is not going to be here, which kind of sucks because actually during the holidays, I didn't really keep up with Delphi just that much.
I didn't either.
I do know, I can tell you this. I know that there were motions going back and forth. The Supreme Court did find for the defense to come back. So,
yes.
So Rosie and Baldwin, or Rosie or whatever you say, they are now Richard Allen's attorneys. I don't know if you guys knew that. And then they filed a motion 2 days ago to expel Judge Gull. And then either today,
What was that? What was that sound?
That was my phone.
Oh, okay, cool.
That means someone's battery's dying on 360.
Got it.
And so then yesterday, the prosecution filed a motion to what was it? Jesus. To find Baldwin and Rosie in contempt of court because of the gross negligence of having someone come in their office. Now, I don't find that. I mean, that probably is. You know, we talked to Bob Mata about it. Bob said it's not really what you would call gross negligence.
Right.
It was not a good idea that. I can't remember, but it was a lighter term.
Yeah.
But he was just
contempt, maybe, or
no, not really.
No, it wouldn't be contempt. Yeah.
He said, it was bad. It's a bad idea to, you should. They have the thing they call the war room, and that has all the photos. And they basically left the office and they left the stuff on the screen.
Right.
And so when Baldwin's buddy came through, and I can't remember what that guy's name was.
Did he get in trouble?
Was it him who killed himself, or was it another guy?
Oh my gosh! What?
Yeah, and someone maybe help me again, man. From the holidays and everybody getting sick.
And
we're behind a little bit.
And if anybody's struggling with anything, call the hotline, whatever that is.
Absolutely.
Crazy. That's nuts.
So it was like the main dude.
This case, man.
Took the pictures, then they leaked out. I think the guy that leaked them out, he knew he was going to be in trouble and he killed himself.
My goodness. This case
that's insane.
This whole case is just so sad.
It is. And when are they ever going to get to oh, hey Mel, let me put that up there, huh?
Yeah, actually that's awesome.
That is super awesome. Your daughter is beautiful.
Yes.
That's a great picture.
Are awesome.
Yep. She's gorgeous. Cutie.
Awesome parents.
But yeah, so they're going back and forth with this, and so they still want a speedy trial. Right. Now the original trial was
that's what they deserve.
Right. And he has that right.
Right.
So now I think they have so many days to do it, but I'm wondering if Bob, if you're on here, and he's on every night, man. He's probably not even watching us.
He's busy. Well, there's a lot.
He's so busy. Yeah. I don't understand. Like, how far will this delay that for them to have a speedy trial if they keep going back and forth with these motions? Well, these are going to go before the Supreme. They're going to go before the Supreme Court.
Well, of course, as we were talking about earlier, is I said the wheels of justice, as I know now, move very slow.
And slow. Oh,
I mean, because in my situation is very super minor, but that took 6 months. It was every single day, even on the weekends. Like, it was nuts. So I can't even imagine, right? And so this could be But isn't he getting treated pretty badly? Like,
yeah,
poorly?
very badly. In fact,
so like the longer this takes, the worse it is. Like
for him, yeah. Now,
which I mean, you know, like,
right now, if he's guilty, I don't
Right.
give a shit
Yeah,
how
yeah,
bad
for
they
sure.
treat the guy, but he still deserves to be treated like a human being right now. You know,
While they sort
then
this
once he's
stuff
proven
out.
guilty, that's when the
Yeah,
real
yeah.
shit's going to go down for
Right.
him. So,
Right.
but if he's not, I mean, he needs to get a fair trial. But yeah, they proved that there were the security guards did have Odin patches on their.
My gosh.
That's not regulation, I don't think. And
No.
so the commander, he came on and said, yeah, you're right. They did have Odin patches. We did tell everybody no more patches on your
Oh
uniforms.
my gosh.
Okay, so the guy that
Wait, did they get fired?
no, they didn't
What?
get fired. No,
How is that? Okay.
they just told him to remove the patches.
Okay, because they're Viking patches.
They're
essentially?
Viking patches.
Okay.
So one of the guys but the problem is one of them has the Odin tattoo on his arm.
Oh my gosh. Are you serious?
And then the one guy that kind of got reprimanded, from what I understand, he came back with a new like Odin tattoo on his face. So
wait, these are guards?
I'm thinking you should get fired for that shit. Yes, these are prison guards.
I didn't.
So all they're doing is if this guy is guilty, they're trying. I mean,
yeah.
And let's say he gets out because of this Odin thing. That's going to be a shame.
It kind of seems like that would be like like inciting some sort of, you know, a confrontation, like for a guard to have a tattoo on their face.
Absolutely.
They add after they're a guard.
Yeah. If my boss told me, okay, you got to get rid of that 666 or patch on your arm, and I take it off and I go get 666 tattooed, my boss goes, hey, get out of here.
Okay. So that's crazy.
So yeah. So now we got to wait to hear on, I mean, all these motions like the Frank. Oh, and Gall came back and she basically disregarded like the Frank's hearing, the PCA, and also the 40 caliber bullet. They were trying to get the bullet removed from court,
right?
And the PCA, because of they had evidence that, you know, there were some lies on there to get the search warrant. Well, she sent out something 2 days ago saying, too bad, so sad, not happening.
Right.
But I do think this with Judge Gall, I mean, for the best interest of the case, I think she does need to remove herself, because let me just say this, because here's what's going to happen. Let's say Judge Gall, there's already this big butt of heads between the defense and the judge. That's not good.
Seeds of doubt.
Okay, right. And so let's say Richard Allen gets found guilty. They're going to appeal, and they're going to say, well, the judge was prejudiced against my client, and we got proof of it, which is this is going to go on and on. So the best thing I think Judge Gold could do is go ahead, and she just got promoted to a Supreme Judge or something.
For the state, right?
Right. Yeah. And so, I mean, Bob was saying, actually, what she could do is say, well, you know, my caseload with this new job is just going to take too much of my time. I don't think I can really handle this case right now, and remove herself. But it seems like that she's kind of enjoying, like, rousing them a little bit, and like, screw you, you're not going to take me off this case.
Yeah, but it's like, it is like making it take longer though, right? And it will inevitably.
It's going to, and that's not fair for the justice of the girls, the families,
right?
And like I said, and Richard Allen, if he's not guilty, I mean, like I said, we don't know yet.
Right.
Oh, but let me tell you this too. This just if you guys seen this on eBay, it just popped on eBay, YouTube, it just popped up. The new lawyer, you know, when she assigned the Librato to the case, and there was another one I can't remember, but he just did an interview with somebody. Oh God, I'm so sorry, guys. I've been so behind on this case.
No, you're good.
I had to do all this in one day.
No, you're doing great.
And so he came on, and they asked him, what was your defense going to be before you were removed? And he said he goes, this guy's 100%. This is what he said. I quote, this guy's 100% innocent. He said,
Who said that?
The Librato, the defense attorney.
Okay.
And he said, we're going to, basically what our plan was is we were going to stick with that Odin, and plus we were going to have a different little take on it. There's supposed to be a full interview. They just showed a piece of it.
This is crazy.
On Court TV, I believe what it was.
Wow.
But this whole interview, I think, should be out in the next couple of days. But yeah, it's not doing the family any good. I mean,
well, let's see what Matt has to say when he comes on.
Yeah. So we'll see if we can get him on maybe next week.
No.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll wait. Yeah.
We'll
so
wait.
guys, basically what we want to, we're going to, and I'm so
Let's
sorry.
just go ahead and dive in. Yeah, dive
I'm
in.
just going to be truthful for you. We were going to take another 2 months off, and I'm so sorry, but the only reason I want a good quality show for you guys, and I want to be able, the thing is, Garrett and I, he has a business going on. He's got a family. I got a family. I got a band. I got all sorts of stuff going on, and this isn't an easy job. I mean, some of you guys who are creators who may be watching this, it's not easy. You got to do your research. You got to get interviews. And my thing is, I love interviewing people, and right now that's been kind of a problem.
Right. Because it takes time.
There's a couple guys I'm working on that are really exciting if I can get them to respond to me. So what I want to do is do a bunch of research. Now, a lot of it's going to be very heavy paranormal because that's how this thing started. Now, of course, we're always going to cover the Delphi case. If there's something going on, we're going to hop on and let you know what's going on. But I'm on some interesting stories that I'm trying to get some witnesses to. I don't want to. Should I tell them about the one story I'm working on?
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, and this may or may not happen. I've been even reached out to the town a lot. And, so back in the early 70s, and I know this sounds ridiculous, but you never know. There in 1971 in Lawton, Oklahoma, and also Fort Sill, that's where it's at, right?
Yep.
Okay, so they had this werewolf sighting that went on for weeks, and it was terrifying the community. And it got to the point where the commander of the police force had to get involved.
Crazy.
And they had to have they had to have like teams out covering the city. And looking for
That's
this
a wildlife refuge
whether it was a guy in a mask or a real some type of weirard creature,
looking for something.
They were looking for something.
Right.
Now, there's always that divided line, right?
Right.
Okay, so I went to Lawton's city webpage thing,
right,
and I brought it up.
Yeah,
I said, and you know what? It's the top story,
really,
the top post right now. I put
the one you brought up.
Yes,
that's great.
It's so cool because I said, hey, does anybody remember the 1971 werewolf that you guys were having sightings on, and can you say something about it? And that's my sneaky way of getting people to put their names out, so that I can find them on Facebook or whatever and try to contact them to come on the show. So there was about, and it's funny because it's pretty half and half. Like lady said, sure. She goes, yeah. She goes, I remember when that happened. She goes, we were terrified, and we stayed in her. One of the girls was, I think she said she was 12 years old. She said we were terrified. We stayed in the house. They didn't know what to believe. And then you have another part of them that were saying, well, we weren't scared. We knew it was someone dressed up.
Right.
And they said that they did find evidence that some guy possibly was dressing up as a werewolf. Now, I researched this, right?
Didn't they say he jumped from the railing?
Yes, there were. Okay, get this. There's a sighting. Okay, the first sighting, this guy is sitting at his window. He looks out. He sees this creature. He has a heart attack.
That's crazy.
He has a cardiac arrest. They have to call an ambulance. So he's reporting this to the police. So a few days later, there's a guy staying in a hotel in Lawton. He sees a creature on the railing that's on the motels when you come out.
Yes.
He said he saw a creature on the second floor. He said through the window, he said it looked at me, it jumped off. So he goes out the door, it lands on its feet, not injured, and runs off.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. And so these 4 soldiers at Fort Sill said they saw this creature as well. So you got 4 soldiers who are claiming. So these are all
separate.
Yeah, they're separate events. So it got serious where people were getting so scared that they had to finally, the police were like, we got to do something. Whether this guy, this joker kid or whatever is scaring people, we need to get him off the street.
Right.
So anyway, that's someone said thanks, Garrett.
Yeah, no, I was responding to them.
Oh, okay. Take it off. Yeah. Okay. But so anyway, so there's a half of them, it even went as far as one guy said, hey man, he goes to Fort Sill, man, they're running those LSD and all sorts of different experiments on soldiers. You never know what they could have created.
Wow, that's interesting.
Okay. So he put smiley faces, and I thought, okay, I don't think he's joking.
Yeah.
I think he's just saying that going, isn't that funny? And I went under it and I said, dude, absolutely. I said, he said, I love government conspiracies. And I said, I do too. I said, dude, it's possible they could have been screwing with somebody or making hybrid people or whatever.
Right.
And so then he let his guard down a little bit. He goes, absolutely, dude. You don't know what the government. And then he went into a bunch of stuff. And I thought, okay. So then I think another person was saying that they believed it. And there's also, if you research this story, they said that even though the cops and some of the residents said these sightings didn't stop, they never stopped.
Okay.
That to this day, every once in a while, there will be a sighting of whatever this creature is. Now, I would guess it'd have to be an offspring or something.
Yeah.
And then I had one lady responded, well, you know, they have a devil worshiping group there. She goes, they get under that bridge.
No way.
And yeah, she goes, they would meet under the bridge and they would conjure up stuff. There's a big devil worshiper thing in the early 70s. Okay. Then
conjured up a werewolf?
Who knows? Well, we talk about intent, right?
True.
I think we can create anything, but I mean, a werewolf, I don't know. I'm finding kind of like,
It's weird that there were so many
interesting.
sightings.
Yeah. And God, what was the other thing someone said? There is a guy. He goes, I know the guy who's at the head of the werewolf clan here.
Really?
So there supposedly is this head guy of a werewolf clan in Lawton. And so I'm sneakily, because
thank you for doing this.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get I'd love to get him on the show.
Exactly.
Or anybody who went through this that thinks this might have been something. I think it's interesting.
Right. For sure.
Even if it was, some screwed up deformed monkey or bear or something.
No, for
it's
sure.
Still interesting. But the funny thing was, the first sighting, the guy who had the heart attack said that it had pants on that went down to his knees.
I know, I saw that. Or you said
right?
That.
So it had pants that went down to his knees, which would make you think, werewolf,
Teen Wolf. Michael J. Fox.
So that's that's one story, guys. I'm working on. I know a lot of you are like, oh, come on, Keith, werewolves for real.
I was gonna bring this up. Carl Johnson.
Yeah.
The what's that thing? The heater. The manifesting of the sound.
Of the sound of beat. Right.
A story is just like that, right?
Yeah.
Fear is palpable. So a guy that dies of a heart attack from seeing this thing.
Right.
That story gets out, prank or not, right? Maybe you do see a bear at some point. So
Mel says, I got a monkey living with me. Are you talking about Steve? That's not very nice. Are you calling Steve a monkey?
That's funny.
That is funny. But anyway, so that's one I'm working on. I think it'll be interesting, guys. If I can get a couple of people who were back in that time to talk about it. Now, here's the thing, guys. I don't know if you know this, but I've tried to get guests through Facebook sometimes, and there was an indie page that I joined. They accepted me, and
we do great indie shows.
Oh my God, there were some really interesting stories, and so I knew this might get me in trouble, and it did. I put up, "Hey, I'm Keith Sharp. I have a YouTube show called Live After Life. If any of you had any experienced any really interesting NDEs, contact me, and let's see if we can set you up." Well, by the rules, you can't. That to them, that's advertising my show. Right. So they banned me for until I think January 24th, which we passed. Make money. I know, that's the thing, is we're not making money off it, and to me, it's like, so what I told Garrett. Should I tell them that too?
What, that we're gonna do well-produced videos at some point?
Not that, but maybe put up our own different Facebook page to have people. Yeah, I was thinking, well, how can we get the guests to come to us? And I thought maybe making a web page where we can get people to share their experiences with us on a totally different web page, but also put, in there, if you'd like to be on the show and explain your experience, we'd love to have you on. So I think we could get some really good stories and line up guests. The thing is, guys, man, I mean, and me and Garrett, I mean, there's times we end the show we don't know who we're having on next week. Right. But don't get me wrong. We tried like hell to get somebody to come on. We couldn't, there's people, they just don't return your emails sometimes. I think the paranormal scares people.
Hey, let's say this though. Okay. And I was telling Cass this because, and I that's a Bigfoot noise. That's a Bigfoot noise. I love it. Thank you,
Drew Beeson.
Yes, thank you, Drew Beeson, by the way. No, I was telling Cass this. I said, I think it's unbelievable that we've done so many shows, right? I think that when we started this, we didn't really know, we we knew what we wanted to do, but we couldn't have imagined that we would have began to get the guests that we were getting, honestly.
Yeah.
And that we could still call
I
right,
was
to get. And
yeah, and I was like you, dude. I was amazed at some of the we're getting Carl Johnson, we're getting the military, we're getting people that was off of coast to coast.
Yeah,
coming on the show, which is my dream because Art Bell ran coast. He started coast to coast. So to get
I was thinking about Dean being on coast to coast, how cool that is.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
But I mean,
we've had several guests, dude, that have been on coast to coast that we were lucky enough to come on. All of our
guests, they all, and I tell you off the air, I always say, you know what is super special is that all of our guests always want to come back on. That is that is special. So, and I told you even before this show started, I said, well, you know, one thing we can say is that what we do is really special, and we gotta slow down and learn how to kind of wield it a little bit more better, you know, like use it more powerfully. So
we apologize for the big long break. Everybody, Garrett got COVID, and then before that he was throwing up. I got in the week before. Yeah, we had a horrible virus sweep through the nursing home where I work. Yeah, and man, everybody was getting sick.
Hiatus too, man. And I'll just share this because I think it's kind of paranormal. I mean, since we're just kind of free flowing, I'll share what happened on Sunday.
Sure.
So on, as you guys, most of you know, it's a good group, man.
Yeah, we got a good group. Thank you guys for showing up. Sorry, Matt's not here, but we're gonna get him back on.
Yeah. So you guys, if you don't know the whole story, you can go back and watch a couple of the last episodes and see. But it's been a crazy year, right? To the point where I even told my attorney after I got that good news, right? I said, hey man, it's been quite a 14-month stretch. He said, yeah, it really has been. Yeah. It's been nuts. And so, but on Sunday, I literally was coaching, doing all this stuff, running sessions in the gym, and I just started feeling really bad. I'd woken up, my throat was like bleeding, but I had been coaching and all weekend. And so I went home and I was like working on our next facilities coming up and stuff. And I had a bunch of workout, and Cass comes in, my wife, your daughter, and we're talking because she has the new studio coming up and stuff. And I said, hey, there's just nothing else I can do. You know, I've done all the work over 13 years that I can do. I can't ask any more questions. There's nothing, no more sessions I can run. Can't do anything else. Something must click into place. And as I told you, like 3 nights before that,
you kind of end of your rope.
That's exactly what I told her. I said, I'm literally at my wit's end.
Yeah, you've been working on this thing for years.
Yes, years.
And you
13 years,
which is getting very successful, which is great.
And so, but it has come to this point where there's nothing else I can do, right? Mm-hmm. And I told you, like 3 nights before that, Cass had taken the girls out to Matilda so that I could like finish some work for the new facility. And I'm walking outside, and I just like looked up at the sky because I hadn't gotten a sign from Nate in a while.
Right.
And I was like, again,
Nate's
like
his brother.
No, my brother. Yeah. Kind of at a crossroads. And I was like, I'm going to fixate on that star. Right. And I'm going to say, and I just, through my mind was like, come on, man, need you right now. Need something to happen. And nothing happened. Like, and as you know how crazy the year's been, like I told you on the phone, I was expecting, like, I could have seen a UFO. Right. That's how crazy the year's been. Nothing. And I was like, okay, we'll see what you have in store for me. So fast forward, I feel awful. I go home, tell Cass, wit's end. I said, and I literally said this, I was like, things just have to start clicking into place on their own. And my business partner calling me. He knows I'm like super sick, and he's very thoughtful. So I was like, that's weird. I know I'm still talking, don't answer. He calls me again. I'm like, oh, okay. And so I answer, and he's like, hey man, you need to like check your messages now. And I like check it. And it was the ending of, I can't get into details. Yeah. But a huge
litigation.
Thing, right? And like I said earlier, that's like every single day. And it's kind of interesting. I told you before how much this show has helped me, even in like spirituality and faith and everyday life, how we treat people.
Yep.
Even in legal sense.
Right.
Like having an understanding of kind of how the courtroom works, because man, we covered a lot of crime as well.
Yeah, we did.
And so I told you before we came on, we need to look back too. We had some awesome guests that I've like, because we just kept doing shows every week.
Right. We never invite back.
It was kind of a running joke. We'd never take off,
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, God, he's like dragging me in here. I'm like, but I know that we were so good together. So yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I'm pumped.
I am too.
But maybe it was a sign from Nate though. I asked Cass, I said, man, I don't want to like lean on that though. Like I feel like it was because I did have that intent, like super because of the show. Right. And then
basically you reached out to Nate and you got good news. I mean, which you're at the end of your rope. You go outside, you look up the stars. You're like, God, what do I do? I do that. My dad passed away, and sometimes I'll sit quietly myself, like, Dad, what do I do about this? You know, and I feel like I do get answers. But right after you did that, and you're getting that,
no, it's 3 days later. But still,
that's something, man.
I had to do leagues. Like there's commitments I have for 2 more weeks, and then I can move on. Completely. And so like I almost in my sense was able to rationalize it by saying, well, of course, he knew that I had to finish leagues. I have to be there for that, you know? Yeah. And so like, it's just kind of been weird. But yeah, it's that spiritual kind of journey that we've been on. Right. It's a special one. And we've had real life things happen to us during the show. Right. Like Grandpa passing away, you know, and all sorts of things. Hey,
I'm the Lizard King.
Who is that?
That must be Jim Morrison from the Dead, right?
I know, but I feel like I might have a connection to that person.
Well, you're using your psychic abilities, right?
I'm just feeling like, can you give us another sign? Wait,
is that a friend of Garrett's?
What was that shadow?
Here's another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it Kyle?
What was that shadow? What shadow?
I'm trying to understand the fragilistic.
That's espialidocious.
It has to be Kyle, dude.
Kyle, is that you?
I feel like he loves that song. It might be. I hope it is.
Yes, that's a cool name. I like it.
I was obsessed with Jim.
But I want to know if you're true about what was that shadow. I want to.
I was obsessed with Jim Morrison at West Point. Lizard King was my man. Like, I am the Lizard King. So I could see this being Kyle or somebody else. But what shadow are you talking about?
Yeah. Was it a shadow?
I'm actually interested in that.
And did anybody else see the shadow that they're talking about? I'm kind of curious now. That's funny.
And is there a correlation between, you know, hey, wait, let me ask you this.
All right.
You started this show because you were like, I want to ask the ultimate question. Like, what happens after we die, right? Life after life.
Right.
Has the ultimate question shifted for you at all? Like,
no.
It's still the ultimate question. Like, and I guess what I mean.
I can't remember who the guest was on, but they said something about that her mom had passed away. And not Kyle, but that shadow orb behind. Are you talking about? Oh, he's talking about what? The camera's backwards. So is he talking about? Look, I'll just point to it.
Yeah.
Is that? That's just a light. That's a light. Yeah, I think you're seeing it. It looks like it's in the back there. And I still want to point the wrong way.
I really like your name. That name is really cool.
But no, that's not an orb.
Where are you from?
Not Kyle, but the shadow orb behind you. Okay.
Fragilistic. Where are you from?
Yeah, Fragilistic. Where are you from? That's an awesome name, dude. Love it.
When I asked that question, I guess what I'm saying is, you know, you also from day one, as I remember, and I think you still maintain this, that there's some sort of correlation between the paranormal and the supernatural, right? Well,
yeah.
Even more so now, what do
you mean? I mean, supernatural and the paranormal to me is the same thing. Are you talking about UFOs, maybe, or what?
Just all of it. I mean, we've done shows on reincarnation, and it's come up. We've done shows on.
I think it's in one big ball.
Interesting.
I do.
Interesting, yeah.
But no, what happens to us when remember I said we must have free will on the other side, right? And then we had a guest that said something about her. Was it her mother that passed away? But she was helping abuse women on the other side.
Yes.
Which would mean which I would kind of hate to think we carry things that terrified us,
but she acted as if it was
traumatized us.
She acted as if it was like a staging area to kind of freshen up, recover, and then re-enter into like the next cycle, whatever it is.
Right. Missouri.
Yeah, I was gonna say I have
The show me state.
Okay, well, that's interesting. I have roots in California, Missouri, which is a real place, and I lived in Monmouth, New Jersey. That's interesting.
I lived in Atlantic City.
You did live in Atlantic City.
And real quick shout, D. Ashley, thank you for showing up.
Hi.
Mel, thank you. Tara
Hi.
Bell, always
Hi.
good to see you. Thank you for returning.
Something to say.
Something to say. That sounds like a new person.
I love that.
No, something to say.
I answered them.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, and they were super nice about it.
Okay, very cool. Thank you for showing up tonight.
Yeah, fragilistic.
We will have Matt back on.
Yeah, we have a bunch of regulars, man.
Yeah, that's all. You guys are great, man. And thanks for
listening to different frequencies can open up portals. And actually, I do think there probably are portals in Missouri. There are time travelers in Missouri, if I'm not mistaken. Did you know that?
No, why did you say that? That I haven't
I've just heard a rumor. I've heard a rumor that there is a kind of a little coalition of people that live out on some land in Missouri and are pulling transformers down from power lines. And
okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
That's in Missouri.
Was that
was in Missouri?
Is he in Missouri?
I believe you said Missouri because I thought it was super interesting.
I know it
also could have been Indiana.
I know it was a southern state, but I can't remember.
But it seems like it would be in Missouri.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, what's his name?
Madman Markham.
Madman Markham.
But I'm not sure he was. It could be. He was from a southern state where he's still in Transformers and making a time machine. Art Bell loved it.
The frequencies though. That would be
absolutely. Yeah, listening to different frequencies can open up portals. Sure, I believe that.
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
So he would go on Art Bell all the time. Madman.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Art Bell would it was funny because Art would push him to do this stuff.
Right.
And it's like you're talking about lots of voltage,
Right, for
sure.
But
he would say at the same time, you need to be very careful about before you think this thing out. And there's a time when Madman Markham he was gone for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Or maybe even longer. And Art thought he just probably fried himself.
Yeah.
He started out as a Jacob's ladder.
Right.
That's all he wanted to make. And then he started thinking, I can make this a time machine.
Right.
But you have to go through this powerful, freaking crazy force of electricity.
Have to do it, and it would be so. What?
Remember, he threw the screw. He threw the screw through, and it disappeared. And then it ended back up later, or it came through the little deal.
Interesting,
is what he said. And then, of course, he came up with a story about that. He told Art he added on to this time machine. Ended up in Ohio.
Yes.
Out in the
field.
He have to
hitchhike back or something?
And he had to hitchhike back home.
Yes.
But I don't think, God, I wish I had the story straight. It may have been just minutes or hours of time that he gained or went back. I can't remember, but he hitchhiked back. It wasn't like he transported, I guess is what to say.
Yeah.
But could it be a different dimension? Possibly.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Parallel universe, possibly. I don't know.
He skipped over or something,
Mm-hmm.
Like he overshot. You can imagine what are the catapult? No. The guys that run with the big sticks. What's that called?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm old.
I could just see this guy though, Madman Markham, just kind of
pole vaulting,
pole vaulting, pole vaulting himself super far over the target into Ohio. And it's like, oh shit, dude, because it would have to be very specific to time travel. I'm stuck on this though.
What?
I'm stuck on this. I'm stuck on the fact that I feel like AI, UAPs, UFOs, extraterrestrials are somehow all tied together. I think it has something to do with interstellar travel, and time. And it could they most likely have the answer. Actually, they might not. To what happens after we die.
Yeah.
The only reason that I'm going to say why they don't have the answer to that, what happens after we die, is because I'm assuming that's why they are trying to keep us alive, is because they still haven't found an habitable atmosphere where humans can just be born naturally. Mm-hmm. Therefore, right? So I don't know, but they could be coming back here and, so,
and Absolutely. Coast to coast rules. I totally agree. I just re-upped my my subscription to them. I about didn't.
How many people do you think are still on? Like,
oh,
because I'm not
man.
on this stuff. I don't like. What do you think? How many people like listen to that? A lot, right?
I don't. You know, when Art was listening to it, they had, God, I think 6 million viewers or listeners. I
That
guess.
is crazy
Now, what they have now, I
amounts.
don't know. It's still pretty big, but I know that, you know, that was back in the 90s. Radio was still
What does syndicated mean?
terrestrial radio.
If you don't mind me asking.
I think syndicated is like when they can run it. They'd run it in different cities, like.
Oh, they can air it different.
Yeah, syndicated through, you know,
networks.
Because every week, we got a new station,
That's
and
cool. That's so cool.
Welcome KOFM,
Man,
you know,
it's a dying,
Alabama or something like that.
It's a dying breed, man, and that's like why
it is. And I wonder if it's still as strong as it was. They still have really interesting stuff on there. I will check it and also that's another thing is you know, going through there and listening and finding a guest that way. So, you know, I'm going to explore every option to bring you guys a good quality show. I don't want to do anything boring and like half-assed.
Well, I think I'm going to try to get us a super good website. I think that's something we need to. I think we need to have people like sending us, like going to our website and then like inputting a story there confidentially.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Or maybe even an audio. So I think they all just need to make sure they follow the social media too, right?
Right.
Like, because that's how we're going to have to keep in contact with them while we're on hiatus.
Yeah.
But you know what's crazy, man, is if you look at it's so funny that we've done so many shows. If you look at our shows from like about AI, from the first show to the most recent, how much that's evolved, right? And how quickly it's evolving now. We're gonna take off for 2 months and we're going to come back and it's going to be like the show's going to run itself. And we're like, oh my God.
We don't even have to show up anymore.
Yeah.
Just have AI to create it.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it cool that like on GPT, and this is what a lot of students are doing now. I need an essay, 500 word or 10,000 words with 4 errors in it about the Revolutionary War.
Right.
And this thing will type it up.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. I think they have.
I think that's bad, don't you, though?
Yeah. I think they have like blockers too now, though.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. That has to go through a certain like firewall, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I just submit it. But there's a ton of money going into both sides.
It's good. I think it's good for young people when you go, because, you know, we all went to college and, you know, when I went to college, of course, there was no internet. So we was in the library, you know, checking out books and doing research in it. And it was pretty satisfying. It's like, wow, man, you know, I actually wrote this paper that I didn't think I could do.
Yeah.
And I think it makes you're more creative. We're getting lazy as a whole nation.
Yeah.
You know, AI's, you know, I mean, like we talked about the music. I mean, Aerosmith literally could go in and say, AI, write a song in our style, blah, 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 and it comes out.
Right.
And then they take Steven Tyler's sampled voice.
For sure.
And the AI is so good now, you can't tell what's what.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, I mean, you could get real late. I mean, the songs probably be shitty. I mean, I did ask it to write a Beatles song one time. And the lyrics were just so...
Yeah.
Just like hunky dory love.
Yeah.
It was just kind of stupid, but it's gonna get there.
Yeah.
It's gonna get there where it's gonna figure out everything for everybody, and I think that's where we got to be careful about. Losing creativity is a big one. You know, artists.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, artists.
Absolutely.
Like Cass asked AI to create what the Earth will look like, what futuristically or something.
Yeah.
And it came up with this crazy picture.
Yeah. It's nuts, man.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah, no, it is a little bit. I'm
excited for the things that can be done with it, more so for the medical stuff. Like,
for sure.
You know, like spinal cord injuries or something, or helping with that.
Definitely.
Brain injuries. And
I think it will, right?
Yeah. I'm looking at the new, I'm sorry.
What do we got?
We got Matt. Oh, not Matt. I'm sorry, Andy. Matt is not. He got called into work tonight. I apologize. We were hoping to have Matt. We will reschedule him. If you're a new viewer, subscribe, hit like, join the family. We talk about true crime and mainly paranormal.
Right.
However, we are going to take a 2-month hiatus so we can do research on this and try to get. I want good guests lined up so every week I can say, hey, next week we got a real vampire coming on, or someone who thinks he's a real vampire. Or
and we do really, I do really want to kind of get Carl back on at some point. In the future, man. Because it's been a while, and I'm super curious with technology what he's been up to.
Yeah, Carl Johnson.
He would come on. Historic society in Rhode Island that's haunted. That's where he works every day.
Right, and that's where Taps was born there.
Yes.
They started.
What is Taps again?
Man, don't ask me that. Something.
No, I mean, what do they do?
Oh, they're ghost hunters.
Yes,
they had the TV show.
Right. Popular, super popular.
Right, I'm not sure they're still on anymore. They did a global one that was like where they'd actually go to England and different countries.
Right.
But I haven't watched TV in so long.
Right. I'm looking forward to getting Dean here in Oklahoma City in the studio.
Yeah, and that's another thing we were going to announce. Yeah. We're going to start doing a lot of well, not a lot yet, but Garrett.
That's a new facility.
That's a new facility. Garrett's got this awesome facility.
Kind of have like a multimedia center hub going on.
Yeah.
So we have a podcast studio.
So the plan is to keep doing our podcast, but also we're going to start bringing in people for live events. Maybe give away some tickets if any of you guys are close. You could drive.
I want Dean to come down, stay in an Airbnb, and be in that studio all day on a Saturday doing a mediumship class.
Oh yeah.
I am going to enroll.
Yeah.
Immediately.
I just don't know.
Well, just to learn. I'm just going to do it from an educational standpoint.
I mean, I don't want voices coming and talking to me.
But I'm also going to video it and document it and ask questions, and I'm going to mic him up, and we're going to get some amazing footage for you guys that can't make it. And then we're going to make it so good that when you follow us on social media and you see this amazing footage and what Dean is capable of, then you're going to want to come to see it, right? And because the thing I love about Oklahoma City, Keith, and why I've been hosting really big events for futsal, right?
It's in the middle of the country too,
dude, right? It is. And to get from one side of town to the next, I can drive there in literally 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
And so it's a great place. It's amazing. A lot of people are starting to come here. I'm excited. And Dean is special. Yeah. And the last guest we had on, God, I can't, I wish I might, guys, I'm doing so much right now, but the husband and wife from Oregon, God, Fear Street. Dude, they were amazing.
Yeah.
They're gonna be doing live.
They were really good.
Yeah. A lot of Kelly.
She was the one that was talking about the mother working with the souls that were sexually abused. Oh, I said that. I'm probably gonna get struck now.
Yeah.
SA'd or whatever you guys say now, which is silly.
So but they would not in this life. I mean, I'm sorry. In this life, but these are souls.
Yeah, but so you're talking. So I mean, that brings up like I just said a little bit ago. So do we take? I mean, good Lord, do we take that with us to the other side?
Can I tell you what I took from that? When she was saying that, what I took from that was that, in her opinion, not my opinion, and she doesn't know. She was just saying, I think.
Well, none of us did.
Yeah, they were so awesome and professional, and she was like, here's kind of what I took from it was that the soul goes kind of through like a cleansing process once it leaves the body, and as it's re-entering back into the nebulous. And my mom is the person that's kind of like there, in that portal, as Fragilistic said earlier, right? Like the portal, it's almost like a portal you go through, right? And you would encounter her mother, and she would kind of nurse your soul back to a point but it would be changed.
Right.
It's like an addition to a car or something. Yes,
absolutely.
Oh, free tickets.
Yeah. We could do a giveaway. I mean, I know we have a couple of maybe two or three people that are actually in Oklahoma.
Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Take a screenshot of it and then send it to our Facebook or Instagram page, and then you'll get free tickets to the live show in 2024.
There you go. There you go.
Done, dude.
Right from Garrett's mouth, man.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to hold. You gotta hold up to your end of the deal there.
That's fine.
All right,
dude. That know how I am.
I know.
I'll get the deal done. Don't worry about it. We'll get it done.
And I'm also working on Jeremy Corbell.
Man, that would be amazing.
Yeah, for the he was the.
It's not out of reach for our show.
Him and Bob Lazar.
Yeah. Wow. Oh God.
He seems like a really cool guy, and if I could get him, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm like I said, guys, I want you guys to have a really entertaining show. And I don't want to cheat you. And so that's why I'm saying I want to make sure we know next week what the guest is, and next week and next week and next week. So that's why I want to try to line up a bunch of guests for the whole summer, and then be a little easier. Then we can kind of just add guests to that list as we're going. And I mean, there's going to be times Garrett and I are just probably going to come on and just shoot the shit, right?
Because that's what we do.
Because that's what we do, and talk about things, which a lot of you said you do enjoy that. So that's awesome. But yeah, we got some exciting stuff coming up, man. So Cheeks and Chong. Hey, we could do that. I bet they've seen they've seen a few things, right?
Yeah.
As high as those guys are.
Oh my God. Well, who was it recently? It was a pretty famous female actress. Was it Goldie Hawn? They came out saying that she got abducted or something. It was a famous female actress.
Let
me confirm really fast.
Okay, you confirm that. But if she's really famous, I bet we can't get her on.
No, but I just think it's really interesting. Hang on.
It is.
Actress.
I'm just looking through the chat here, guys. Just be patient with me. I'm sorry.
Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn, okay.
Yep, she saw aliens with triangular shaped heads, man.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Aliens with triangle heads?
That's what she says.
That's a new one. Usually they're cone head looking things.
That's what she says. But could we see them all differently?
That's a good question, because I mean, again, it's the intent. Maybe you have, I don't know, man. I don't know. Because there has been, usually people see it's the same thing. Betty and Barney Hill.
Can I add on to my theory? Oh, go ahead.
What? No, I'm just saying Betty and Barney Hill would be a good example,
awesome,
because they both saw the same thing. But I don't, man. Who knows? We don't know.
Can I tell you why these things are starting to act way crazier?
Why?
Okay, my theory that AI is developing humans in the future, right? And we have developed somehow to this point where they've already come back. Okay, is that if that theory is right, then the people that are starting to come back are the ones that were experiencing the technology quicker, right?
Yeah.
So this one you were talking about, what does it look like? It's like a squid or something, right? It's
oh God,
it's nasty, dude.
What's it called?
It's like
the octopus.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. Have you guys heard about the new UFO sighting? It was the
yes.
Was it? Whoa! What is it called? The squid? I think you're right. A squid,
something like that. But do you get my point though?
I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick while we're.
Or have these things just been there, and then we have more eyes on because of cameras and pure numbers and population, which is double eyeballs. You know what I mean?
Right.
What is it? Are we flying more planes? Are we in the sky more with drones and what?
Man, I don't know. Let me hang on a second. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up. Okay, so let me come over here. Has anybody seen a new squid video? It was a base in the Middle East, wasn't it? Or Iraq, I think.
It was in Kuwait, I believe.
Oh, was it Kuwait?
I believe it was Kuwait. Okay, maybe it was Iraq. Yeah, I think it was Iraq. Yeah.
If I share screen, I hope I do this right. Okay, share.
Kurt Russell's a badass.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna.
Squid video. Of course, they call it the squid video because it's got tentacles. It looks kind of like a squid. And
I've
it's
seen
even
a
kind
couple
of,
other things in this. When they
you
look
know,
during
like
the day, they look
camouflage
like
or something
clouds,
like a squid might have.
right?
Right. That's weird.
Check that out.
But could that be a
Wow.
drone?
Yeah,
Possibly.
it definitely could be. It definitely 1000%.
Yeah,
But
and notice there how it's moving. You know, it's not stuck on the lens. It's moving in a way
talks about
the camera isn't.
And
We're
this
saying
is
that it's
this
you
is
know,
at
a
nighttime, by
smudge
the
on
way.
the lens. It doesn't appear to be a smudge on the lens to me.
That's not a smudge because it's
Hell
moving.
no,
You know,
yeah.
yeah, it's not staying in the same position. So that's odd, dude.
Well, let me know what you think. All right, let's get into more details about it. New UFO footage shows jellyfish craft not visible to the naked eye hovering over town in video buried by intelligence community.
Not visible.
Leaked U.S. military footage of a mysterious flying object was unveiled by expert Jeremy Corbell. Two different angles of the aircraft showed the mysterious entity as it flies over the land and water of a U.S. military base.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause it for a minute just because there's, if you watch the whole video, there's two soldiers walking and this thing's just going over it and they're not looking at it or anything. But again, at night you wouldn't see that anyway, right?
Yeah.
So
Fragilistic said I like Fragilistic.
Base
He said
in
you can
Iraq.
tell there's someone in this
The UFO
like it is funny to think like what if they like some foreign like entity does have the ability to become invisible and there's just a human like this
like a smudge
flying because
but look at it. Yeah, exactly. That's pretty good. That's pretty good right there.
Only be
it
seen
is really bizarre.
Look how it almost goes
like
it goes
drawing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it looks like it's going. It gets transparent when it gets this. Like, see how it goes over the same color?
That's interesting.
And that is clearly
that's
defined.
Pretty weird.
The
and it was invisible. That's
they're
scary,
saying
dude.
Stiff. Yeah, I don't think
that
people would have been ordered to hunt it down if it had been a smudge. But that's just me. And of course, that's not the first squid UFO video we've seen. We've seen several of these incidents in the last few years, and even historically. Here's a post from the One. The original YT video for this includes an individual account of seeing one of these jellyfish octopus-like UFOs. The short clip from the video is interesting because no other cloud formations are in sight, and multiple researchers, including John Keel and Charles Fort, have stated that UFOs would use clouds as camo in order to do earthly surveillance. Well, let's take a look at this crazy jellyfish UFO that the Juan is talking about. And let's see, that was shared by UFO Hunter.
Can't pause that.
Okay.
I don't see anybody. I don't see anybody in it.
No, and furthermore, like to me, honestly, that kind of looks photoshopped. I'm not gonna like that. Doesn't look real.
Well, what about the footage actually is from the base where it has the times. I mean, I guess anything can be faked. We know that.
But this one looks like that. There's
yeah, this is the different one. So yeah,
the one I've seen in South America,
like crazy jellyfish,
just like the other one, except it looks like
similar, but not exactly like the one shown by Jeremy Corbell.
That's fucking weird.
When you use it,
why has not everybody seen that?
Definitely way more jellyfish.
When you use at West Point, you said that you got in on, they were experimenting with drones, right? And it was you and Kyle were running.
Oh no, that's what they were. That was the beginning. Was that when these guys were coming back? They were literally on like in Iraq on base, like, and they were running down runways. Yes, and I wasn't, but they were releasing them, and then but they were very like archaic and
right.
Yeah, that was 2004.
Now, did they ever? I mean. Would you be? I know you at West Point. You're a student. Do they share? I mean, any secrets with you guys?
Well, like back then, it was interesting because you have to think Facebook was launched in 2004.
Right.
That changed the world.
And now what year were you in?
2004.
Okay.
I was the first 1,000 people on Facebook. That's why I'm not on Facebook anymore.
Gotcha.
It's just it was nuts. It's not the one dude, when it was small, it was like nuts. It was like all just like, oh, cool. Like, so to see it but then when you go in to West Point, at least it's how it was back then, is you would always get like the newest piece of technology coming out. At that time, I got a Palm Pilot.
Oh, wow.
But by time I was out, the next waves we're getting smartphones. Oh my god.
Okay, so
the technology was changing so quickly, and that was a huge, massive
so the drones you had
concern.
Yeah, so the drones that you guys had, actually the public didn't know about these.
Well,
we didn't really hear about drones until, I mean, wait,
so
what?
like the way it would work at West Point when you would ask, and I'll just talk about it, I don't give a shit, is like so like things would be developed in the different like field that you're studying, right? But everybody's also studying the same thing for like most of the time they're there, which is an engineering type thing.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say this earlier, I think it's really interesting. You were talking about AI, and I am, I'm a collaborative person by trade. I was telling Cass this recently, is that at West Point, everything is group project. Everything.
Mhm.
Besides a final and a test, and like very few, everything else, I can literally build a team and be like, hey, and I did this. I would be like, all right, I'm going to find the money. I'm going to get the pizza. I would like facilitate meetings and shit, right?
Right.
And I would bring in Kyle, and I would bring in the best of the best, right? And then we would get this shit done, and I would make people feel good and like motivate them. But we would like, everything was collaborative. That's an interesting aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so technology is really, really important. While I was there, it was crucial. Like for instance, Wikipedia was just coming out. Mm-hmm. And so I distinctly remember this, man. I was really good at history and writing. So Colonel Granfield from Boston, great dude. He was my history teacher. And I distinctly remember Wikipedia, hearing it for the first time through other cadets, and thinking, I don't trust that. Because he had told us, he's like, hey man, there's sites out there. Don't you fucking do it. In class, don't do it. I'll know. And we're like, hey, well, no. And well, what he had done is, what cadets didn't realize, because we were like fresh out, like, is that is a platform where people can, it's community ran.
Right.
We didn't fucking know that. So our history teachers were going on before big papers were due, and they were changing dates. So like, it would be like for the Revolutionary War, right? You would have like, that's what we were studying and writing about. And it would be like 1892 or some shit. It'd be like, dude, you would copy and paste it and throw it in, because you didn't time manage. You didn't do this shit. They would change shit in there that was obvious that they knew that you would like copy and paste. That's how they're getting people for you. I do not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. That is what you live by. And dude, people were going like left and right because they were using this technology that they were aware of already that we had no idea about, right? They were already understanding it. And like the kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And I told you recently, I told the guy that took care of me, my host family, like the father, Colonel Giordano, I saw him recently, and remember I told you he works for NSA. Okay. He does, and can
we get him on?
He was an IT professor when I was there, right? And he was like my host family. It was just super interesting. He's so smart, and it is a real fucking thing. And I was a writer, I was an artist and stuff, and like that I studied. I've said it on here before. I was talking about it today. Somebody thinks it's so interesting, was asking me about it. They call it apple, like the forbidden fruit. There's like 30 of us out of 1,000 people. And so interesting, because the straw that broke the camel's back was my work was being kind of like infiltrated by somebody in my chain of command that had severe PTSD, that came back as an intelligence officer and thought that people were. I wrote one of my massive papers that every cadet. It was a study on coup d'etat, right? Yeah. Like a coup.
Right.
I was interested in it. He thought this shit. He thought I was like masterminding shit. And
oh my God,
me and Kyle wrote a book at the time, and there's like half of it's about him. Like, and it was it's like in code, like we're in fucking prison. And when those got delivered, they called Kyle down. Chain of command called Kyle down. He had to open the box in front of this dude who ended up getting kicked out of the army and getting the help he needed, I think, right?
Yeah.
But I could see my mouse moving, and that's where I knew.
Oh my God,
he was shredding things. So like, yeah, but the drones were like, we would get footage because they didn't have a cap on technology. So like, digital cameras were huge, man. When I left from Mustang a month later, I was looking at someone's digital camera straight from Baghdad. I had no idea what I had never seen shit. They were not showing you anything on the media.
Yeah.
That's why people are like, you must show the caskets with the flags. And everyone's like, I can't see it. I can't see it. Well, I'm like, no, show the caskets with the flags. You must see it. Like, no wonder there's 1% of people that defend this country. And then everybody wants to have a fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so like, but people were bringing back these cameras and they had USBs that were very small. Dude, it was hyper paranoia, you know, like lockdowns, Russians on the base. Like, no joke. Like,
Yeah.
it would be like a Tuesday afternoon, and I'm like trying to study. I'm like, just like, like, what the fuck, like an Amber Alert. There was not even, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, look, be on the lookout for this guy. And you're like, what the fuck? I'm like 19. I'm like, what is going on here? Like,
right.
And so I can like see the nuclear power plant between us and the Twin Towers where they used to be.
Yeah.
There's a nuclear power plant. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah. And what's interesting is, you know, West Point is strategic. So it's in the Revolutionary War, it was, you come around a river, they had a huge fucking chain. They were smart. They put a huge chain across because they knew the British had to go that way. And so the plan was they were gonna follow them that way and just sink all their ships with this massive chain. And so but everybody's like, oh, it's super defendable. We can defend this. So they put a power plant right there, and it's like then the Twin Towers happen.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Who thought that they're gonna like hijack planes with box cutters?
Right.
Fly? And so like that was. And in fact, my cousin's husband, while I was there, he's an engineer. He actually was getting a job it's called, dude, if I said it's called Indian Point. Have you heard of Indian Point? Indian Point nuclear power plant.
No idea.
Yeah. So, but dude, drones are a real thing. That kind of scares me, that footage though, because that almost does seem like some sort of technology,
like a military thing.
And I've been thinking a lot about invisibility, dude. It's not going to be long. I know that's
nuts. Well, they've already got that somewhat with the jets. I can't remember. There's a certain type of metal they use where you can't see it.
Well,
did you ever have to sign like a non-disclosure NDAs?
Yeah. But listen, man, like, at the end of the day, it's a true American institution. Yeah. And the fact that, you know, I had a voice there, really. Mm-hmm. The fact that I didn't get like sucked up because of this guy, he was like, I literally had a friend that was going to graduate in like 20 days. The best dude ever. He's actually special forces still to this day, despite what this guy put him through. Because he got a demerit, his shoes weren't shiny enough. This guy's been at West Point 5 years already. And he's about to graduate, dude. He goes to Afghanistan for a year as a enlisted soldier. That was his punishment. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, right. The fact that because the truth prevailed, I had Jag on my side. I had the law on my side. I was telling the guy today, I had Jack Nicholas on my side. Did you know that?
I did not.
I had Jack Nicholas.
Learn more about you every day.
Yep. Because of this, I'll tell you this last thing. We'll get off. I just thought we had new people on. Might as well know.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the movie The Last Detail?
No.
It was Randy Quaid's first big movie. I think somebody got an Oscar nod for that, and it was like huge. It's like 1976, and Jack Nicholas is in the Navy and drunk. And Randy Quaid is Midwestern boy who gets violent and like gets in trouble with Navy. And so they had to Jack Nicholas was in charge of like getting him to his court-martial hearing, you know. Right, you have to see this. I have a copy of it. I have a physical copy of it that I got from Jack because he caught wind of my situation.
Are you talking about Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson, yes, Jack Nicholson.
Okay,
yes.
I was like,
yeah.
The other guy's a golfer.
Yeah, Jack Nicholson. I'm sorry, Jack Nicholson. Yes, yeah. What is it? What does he say in The Shining? When he breaks through,
I'm home or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Jack. Yes.
Okay.
And so I get this movie from him. He is like calling the Academy. Like he's trying to get through because he's on this. This is encroachment of our rights. This is, you know what I'm saying, of this guy's rights. Like he's an art, he's a writer. He had he knew things, and because of a connection I had that I don't want to say on here right now. And yeah, it was kind of crazy. So I ended up getting out, not because of him, but that it went through the process. Jag went through. So I do have hope in that. So when we talk about AI and I'm always fearful and shit, I'm fearful for a reason because it's dangerous as shit. But I'm also hopeful because I'm like, with the right, that's, we'll be all right. We're in America at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So, but anyways, hey, good show, man.
Good show, guys.
Good ending show.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. Sorry about Matt, but he got called into work, so nothing he could do. We will reschedule him. Like I said, we are going to take probably about a 2-month hiatus. Stick with us because we're just trying to improve the show. So we love you guys, and I will keep you guys updated on the Facebook page. If you haven't been to the Facebook page, go join that. For some of you new guys, go ahead and subscribe and hit the like button so we can get this channel moving and going. And hopefully we're going to have some great shows coming up. That's my plan. So, all right. We love you guys. Peace out. We will see you in a couple of months. All right.
Great show.
All right. Good night.